a few moments ago, right before the Life Malcolm show. So definitely, big shout outs to that brother and that sister for keeping this work alive and making it possible for us to be here, share this time and space together. I hope that you tuned in like right before the show, never left after the Tampa Bay Tammy show because the man behind the boards was jamming, yo. I mean, I don't know. I mean that I Love Myself song, one of my favorite joints. I don't know what that song was. He played right before we broke into the Life Malcolm show, but I got to find out what that jam is because I was feeling that. I was like, oh, I got some new show music or something. But it was yeah, good grooves, good vibes, ready for a good show. I definitely want to thank you for being here. I'm thanking everybody. I got to thank you because In Touch News is the place where everybody is a star, and the biggest star is you. This is a call-in show. The number's 813-444-9588. You can call. We can talk. If not, I'm gonna talk. Yeah. So last week was, I thought, a pretty good show.
It was a great show.
I thought it was a pretty good show.
My wife said she thoroughly enjoyed it.
I really appreciate that too, and I want to say that one of the things, I was tired at the end of the show. I was tired because I was in here reading hard, and usually I don't read aloud, so I don't want people to think you wouldn't be so tired if you read more. I read, but I just don't read aloud very much.
I thought your reading was quite exemplary. A lot of people need to hear what reading sounds like.
I appreciate that.
We should be
brother.
able to attack reading like that. Most of us don't.
I appreciate that, and we didn't plan this. This is a surprise to the whole In Touch News team, and but I got a lot of positive feedback about last week's show, so I decided that one of the things we're gonna do, there's a rumor that black people don't read. Yeah, and I say it's a rumor. It might be true somewhere, somehow, but that thing's been swirling around for a lifetime, and perhaps it's true. But what I want to do is I want to read. The Life Malcolm show we're gonna do some reading on this show. And the cool part about it is you don't have to read. I'm gonna read. So like you can still get the information and what have you from it's not from like the Google Jenny voice or the Apple Alexa voice or whatever. It's coming from somebody who looks like you, sounds like you, reads like you, feels like you. And so, we're gonna do some reading, and of course we're gonna do some talking. I figure if cats can get on, these video platforms and react and have reactions to other people's videos and statements or whatever people do, hell, we can read and have some reactions to some readings, and I am very excited about reading. I don't know, I will tell you this. I used to come in here to the Life Malcolm show with all kinds of stuff to share. Newspaper articles, magazine articles, sometimes something that I saw or read on Facebook, quotes, poems, etc. Always like little short pieces and then do some talking about it, what have you. But last week, for those of you who did not tune in last week or have not yet caught last week's show, last week, as you may know, was the anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. And so we brought out some Martin Luther King Jr. books that a lot of people that I have not met a lot of people. We brought out some books that are unfamiliar to most people I've met when it comes to Martin Luther King Jr. books. I'm trying to make sure I give it an accurate characterization. Right? Those books are unfamiliar to most people I meet, and we talk about Dr. King and his works. And so, we read from the books, and people just really enjoyed not just listening to my voice, but and I don't know if that's enjoyable or not. I'm gonna tell you something that happened to me when I was in Morehouse many years ago. But people enjoyed the information. People said they learned stuff that they didn't know before. Stuff about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Personally, stuff about the Lutheran Church and the Christian the way the Christian faith developed for young Dr. King. As it's through his father's experiences. So it was just like a good experience. We read, people learned, and people were engaged. So I'm thinking if we can pick up some books every now and then and drop some knowledge, just read some words and have a discussion about it, that might be quite beneficial. And I'm no longer afraid of reading too long. That's why I talked a bit ago about how I used to come in with little short blurbs and little small pieces, and because people, they tell you don't if your Facebook post is too long or too many characters, you can't text but so much, because people just, maybe not just black people don't read much anymore, and so the hell with that. We gonna do some reading, and so today. Oh, let me tell you the thing I told you I was going to tell you about Morehouse. When I was in Morehouse, I stayed on the second floor of Thurman Hall. Thurman Hall, man, historic, studious hall of academia. But we also were known to have a little fun, too. And so the second floor is the place to be. And we were like brothers. There was a camaraderie there. And we cap on each other. And back then, cap didn't mean live cap, man, and certainly didn't mean shoot, in that context. Cap meant, just talk about each other, playing a dozen, so to speak. And so this one cat one time told me I sounded like I swallowed a bucket of nails, talking about the raspiness of my voice, I guess, the texture of my voice. And I just thought that was funny. It was 1994. I've never forgotten it. That description of my voice sounded like I swallowed a bucket of nails. But the good thing about it is, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like feels smooth and velvety to me. And so I can tolerate my own voice long enough to so that we can read together, and I hope that you can dig it. That's not too irritating of a sound. I promise I won't try to sing to you. Although DJ CEO had me up in here singing, he was jamming at me, and I was singing off the air. But this book is called The Way of the Superior Man. You ever heard of it?
I have not.
It's The Way of the Superior Man. It's definitely a conglomeration of history, psychology, maybe a little biology and spirituality, and just some good stuff. If you for men who seek to be the best they can be as an individual. And so I picked this book up. Actually, I didn't pick it up. A friend of mine, a gentleman I would consider a superior man, Brother John Warford, Dr. John Warford, really, really good friend of mine, would always keep something in my mailbox for me to read. He knows I love to read. He's responsible for a good amount of books on the shelf, and this is one of the books. Anytime he recommended anything to, I jump right on it, because he's an older man who was always an example of the kind of man young men should emulate. Even if he didn't have it all together, right? You never be able to tell that he didn't have it all together. One of those type men. You know what I mean? Like, they just always look like they got it together, and not just apparel or accessories, automobiles, anything like that, but just like they got his head on straight, never always on a square, always able to be kind and etc. So definitely kind of man any young man would want to be. And so Yeah. Oh, by the way, the author of this book is is named David Deida, and this is Where the Superior Man. So the thing I like about this book is an easy read. It's a quick read. It's in large print. Those of us who need the glasses, and it's less than 200 pages, and it's broken up in nice, short, digestible chapters. So this first chapter, chapter 1, is called "Stop Hoping for a Completion of Anything in Life." Stop hoping for a completion of anything in life. So I'm gonna read the little quote thing in the beginning. Then we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come back and jump right into chapter 1. It says, "Most men make the error of thinking that one day it will be done. They think, if I can work enough, then one day I could rest. Or one day my woman will understand something and then she will stop complaining. Or I'm only doing this now so that one day I can do what I really want with my life. The masculine error is to think that eventually things will be different in some fundamental way. They won't. It never ends. As long as life continues, the creative challenge is to tussle, play, and make love with the present moment while giving your unique gift." So, you can it's chapter 1, you can kind of feel the tone of the text. It's got a little bit of physical in it, tussle, play, make love. Then it also has some of the spiritual in it, make love with the present moment while giving your unique gift, that metaphysical thing, the idea that all of us have something in us that's special and innate, unique to us, that idea. And also, like I said, the psychological, the idea that this whole era of thinking, this masculine era of thinking. And not to say that it's an era to think masculinely, but there is sometimes a masculine error in thinking. And so we're going to dive into chapter 1. We're going to take a break right here. I think it's break time. We're going to take a break right now and jump right back into chapter 1 of The Way of the Superior Man. It's the Life Malcolm Show, y'all. I'm your host, Life Malcolm, and we reading up in here.
Tampa Bay, let's turn up. Are you ready to party with a purpose? Join us for the all-white affair. Hey there, this is Anjali, Queen Bee from 95.7 The Beat.
And TV host Marlo. Join us at American Social on Sunday, April 23rd at 5 p.m. Tickets available now on Eventbrite by searching White Party by the Water.
They're going fast, so don't wait. Proceeds benefit the best program. Tell your friends, get your sexiest white outfit on, and we'll see you there.
Love being number one. When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number 1, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number 1 is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call Herman White at 961-6661. That's 961-6661.
Hi, it's Angela Birdsong, and I want to recommend highly that if you're an attorney, that you get a quote for errors and omissions insurance from Sam Cohen at Attorneys First. He's had over 20 years of experience, and he knows how to work with attorneys. Call him at 727-799-4321.
Man was already solid, but young man trying to figure it out. Yo. Welcome back to the Life Malcolm Show right here on In Touch News. I'm Mr. Bucket of Nails himself. And we're about to jump right into chapter 1, The Way of the Superior Man, a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of women, work, and sexual desire. It's never going to be over, so stop waiting for the good stuff. As of now, spend a minimum of 1 hour a day doing whatever you are waiting to do until your finances are more secure, or until the children have grown and left home, or until you have finished your obligations and you feel free to do what you really want to do. Don't wait any longer. Don't believe in the myth of one day when everything will be different. Do what you love to do, what you are waiting to do, what you've been born to do now. Spend at least 1 hour a day doing whatever you simply love to do, what you deeply feel you need to do in your heart, in spite of the daily duties that seem to constrain you. However, be forewarned, you may discover that you don't or can't do it. That, in fact, your fantasy of your future life is simply a fantasy. Most postponements are excuses for a lack of, most postponements are excuses for a lack of creative discipline. Limited money and family obligations have never stopped a man who really wanted to do something, although they provide excuses for a man who was not really up to the creative challenge in the first place. Find out today whether you are willing to do what it takes to give your gift fully. As a first step, spend at least an hour today giving your fullest gift, whatever that is for today, so that when you go to sleep at night, you know you couldn't have lived your day with more courage, creativity, and giving. In addition to the myth that one day your life will be fundamentally different, you may believe and hope that one day your woman will be fundamentally different too. Don't wait. Assume she's going to be however she is forever. If your woman's behavior or mood is truly intolerable to you, you should leave her and don't look back, since you cannot change her. However, if you find her behavior or mood is merely distasteful or a hassle, realize that she will always seem this way. The feminine always seems chaotic and complicated from the perspective of the masculine. The next time you notice yourself trying to fix your woman so that she will no longer blank, fill in the blank, relax and give her love by touching her and telling her that you love her when she is this way. Whatever you filled in the blank. Embrace her or wrestle with her or scream and yell for the heck of it, but make no effort to bring an end to that which pisses you off. Practice love instead of trying to bring an end to the quality that bothers you. You can't escape the tussle with the feminine. Learn to find humor in the unending emotional drama the feminine seems to enjoy so much. The love that you magnify may realign her behavior, but your effort to fix her and your frustration never will. The world and your woman will always present you with unforeseen challenges. You are either living fully, giving your gifts in the midst of those challenges even today, or you are waiting for an imaginary future which will never come. Men who have lived significant lives are men who never waited, not for money, security, ease, or women. Feel what you want to give most as a gift to your woman and to the world, and do what you can to give it today. Every moment waited is a moment wasted, and each wasted moment degrades your clarity of purpose.
I like that.
Yeah, yeah. You know, this. Yeah. I would say that when I was young, I learned how to read by reading the Bible. So I was like 3 years old reading the Bible. You know, all the words in the Bible. You know. It's funny too, because one time I was in kindergarten, I think, or whatever it is. I might have been 4 years old. Mm-hmm. So I guess what was it, preschool, kindergarten, whatever they call it. Okay, I was in kindergarten, and at Lomax High School, I can't remember the teacher's name right now. Not Lomax High School, Lomax Kindergarten. And I can't remember the white woman's name right now, but she called me obnoxious. And I guess she figured that I wouldn't be able to remember the word or pronounce it if I could remember it. But I went right home and told my mother that this white woman called me obnoxious. And she was astonished that I could remember the word. But I had been reading words like Shadrach and Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar. You know, Barnabas and Barabbas and all these people with the, long names, Golgotha, all this in the Bible and what have you. So I thought that was funny. But anyway, what was that? Oh, I got sidetracked. I was talking about that. But anyway, the purpose of this experience is for me not to talk so much, but to read. But I like that that this book is. Oh, I know I was gonna say it. When I used to read the Bible a lot, and that's kind of like all I read. Even when school would assign readings, I wouldn't read those books so much because I couldn't relate. Just not really about me, my culture, my community, my history. I just couldn't relate. So I read the Bible a lot. And there's nothing wrong with that. But looking back, I can only imagine how much different life would have been had some of my readings also involved some of these ideas that put in a way, a little more digestible than what happened to the 12 tribes of Israel in the wilderness. Yeah. Because the Bible says something like study to show thyself approved, but I don't think it just means only study the Bible. So you can study other stuff. And so in that vein, we're going to get back to this particular study here. Chapter 2, live with an open heart even if it hurts. Closing down in the midst of pain is a denial of a man's true nature. A superior man is free in feeling and action even amidst great pain and hurt. If necessary, a man should live with a hurting heart rather than a closed one. He should learn to stay in the wound of pain and act with spontaneous skill and love even from that place. Imagine failing at a major project, lying to your woman and getting caught or overhearing her joke about your shortcomings in bed. How do you react with your body, breath, and eyes? Notice if you react to a person or situation that hurts you by withdrawing, hiding, or closing in on yourself. Notice if there are times when you find it difficult to look into someone's eyes, or times your chest and solar plexus become tense and contracted. These are signs of an unskillful reaction to hurt. Contracted and closed in on yourself, you are unable to act. You are trapped in your own self-protective tension, no longer a free man. A superior man practices opening during these times of automatic closure. Open the front of your body so your chest and solar plexus are not tense. Sit or stand up straight and full. Open the front of your body, softening your chest and belly wide and free. Breathe down through your chest and solar plexus, deep into your belly. Look directly into the eyes of whomever you are with, feeling your own pain as well as feeling the other person. Only when the front of your body is relaxed and open, your breath full and deep, and your gaze unguarded and directly connected with another person's eyes, can your fullest intelligence manifest spontaneously in the situation. To act as a superior man, a samurai of relationship, you must feel the entire situation with your whole body. A closed body is unable to sense subtle cues and signals, and therefore unable to act with mastery in the situation.
So now, who was this David Dida, whatever?
David Dida.
What is he? What's his background?
I don't know. Brother John gave me the book. That's his background. That's all I know. Brother John gave me the book. Yeah, I got to be all right.
Yeah. So
what did he say?
It says he offers training around the world on spiritual growth and sacred intimacy. His highly acclaimed books include Blue Truth and Wild Nights, and published in 15 languages. He said, wow. It doesn't give much about him here.
Yeah, I know nothing about the guy.
Okay.
But like I said, brother, it's like if somebody.
I'm assuming he's like maybe a PhD or something in something.
I would imagine.
Okay.
I never even thought about it like this.
But he's got good writings.
Yeah. So this reminds me of I train sometimes with some martial scientists, guys who do kung fu.
Okay.
And Wing Chun in particular. And one of the things that touch is a big part of being able to work through some of the drills that we do in our Wing Chun training, and we have this thing that we call listening hands. So we're not excessively pushing or pulling or that kind of, and that listening place allows us to perceive what the other person is about to do or is doing right almost in that instant. Like you could feel shifts and balances or feel if an attack is coming toward you or retreating by listening. But if you're pushing too hard, we call those screaming hands, and it's much more difficult to sense those shifts in stance and weight and whether attack is coming or going. It really is.
Yeah.
And so listening to, rather rereading this piece where he talks about having that kind of tension and tightness,
right,
making it difficult to
it blocks the energy to receive.
Yeah, he's saying being closing in on yourself is how he put it, makes it difficult to perceive the subtleties around you, the nuances, the things, the subtle cues. I think he says that will help you, pick up on what's happening, maybe a little bit more than the imperceptible. I had this friend once, and we'll say this and then go to break. I had a friend once who told me, like, yo, life, you got all this energy, you full of energy or what have you. And again, on that spiritual, metaphysical kind of thing, and anybody who knows me knows that that metaphysical thing is not where I am these days. Once upon a time, that was a belief system that I wouldn't say I subscribed to, but it wasn't. It was something that kind of had my attention, and I investigated it a bit. In my 20 years ago or so. So it was during this period where, you could talk about all your energy and your vibe, and all this kind of stuff, right? And so one cat told me, but I'm a scientist, and I do believe that you can feel energy, just as sure as you can feel heat and wind and, what have you. So I believe you can feel energy, given the appropriate environment and conditions, right? So get back to my friend. My friend was like, yo, if you got that energy, if you walk into a room, crowded room, and you can walk from one side of the room to the next side of the room to the other side of the room without saying, excuse me, or tapping people to move out of your way. He said people just feel your energy, and you could literally see the room just spread apart and make a path for you. And he said, try it sometimes. And I've tried it hundreds of times, if not more. And a lot of times you will see, people just move out of the way. They don't even necessarily see me, but they'll move out of the way. They'll see somebody, but something pulls them to that side. They'll drop a napkin and have to, something shifts them out of my way. And I was like, I got that energy. Right? He was like, you don't ever have to tell nobody about your energy test when you do it, but or the results. But so I was like, I got that energy. But then there was sometimes I walk and couldn't get from one side of the room to the other without having to tell somebody, let me, give me some passage, right? And I was thinking, oh man, it must be my energy, my energy off, my energy fading, right? But then I started paying attention to the types of places where I had the experience that indicated I had the kind of energy people could feel, and the kind of places I was in when people didn't feel the energy. Very different kinds of places, and I realized some people just can't feel the energy. Not that the energy's not there, but they not tuned in to the energy. And they miss that, they miss what's happening around them. And so I ain't going to disparage no places that I went and they failed the energy test. It might tell on them and me. But different types of places and people operating on a different kind of energy level had a different sensitivity to my presence. And so, yeah. Okay. Listen, we're going to take a break. Jump into chapter 3. It's like a half a page chapter, and then we're going to try to get on to chapter 4 before we get to our final break of the show. This is the Life Malcolm Show, y'all, right here on In Touch News Radio.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here-for-you.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecues? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
Hey, Tampa Bay, let's turn up. Are you ready to party with a purpose? Join us for the all-white affair. Hey there, this is Anjali, Queen Bee from 95.7 The Beat.
And TV host Marlo. Join us at American Social on Sunday, April 23rd at 5 p.m. Tickets available now on Eventbrite by searching White Party by the Water.
They're going fast, so don't wait. Proceeds benefit the best program. Tell your friends, get your sexiest white outfit on, and we'll see you there.
Yo, 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 what's up, world? Welcome back to the Life Malcolm Show right here on In Touch News Radio, where everybody is a star and the biggest star is you. I'm your host, Life Malcolm, and today we starting something a little new. We're reading a lot on the Life Malcolm Show this week. Like I said, last week, read some works of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and people found themselves greatly helped, moved, engaged, informed, and said we should read more, and that's what we're going to do. So right before, during our last segment, DJ CEO asked about David Dieter. So here, I just Wikipedia something, and so, of course, take that for what it's worth. But Dieter was born David Greenberg in Cleveland, Ohio, changed his name to Dieter. After receiving the 1974 National Writing Award, he was admitted to Florida Scholars Program at the University of Florida. While there, he founded the Plexus Interdisciplinary Center, researching medicine and consciousness in affiliation with the teaching hospital Shands at the University of Florida. 82, he graduated from the University of Florida with a bachelor's degree in theoretical psychobiology. Who knew? See, I just told you that the book was about mind, body, and spirit. This dude has psychobiology. I don't even know what it is, but it sounds like mind and body, right? And theoretical is, sometimes that a lot of people in the metaphysics have that, that theoretical
theory
kind of
of religion.
Right. But that same year, he was granted a fellowship at the Laboratory for Theoretical Neuroscience at the University of California in San Diego Medical School. As a graduate student at the University of California at Santa Cruz, he conducted research in ontogeny of non-self boundaries and the evolution of the nervous system and its relationship to space-time dimensionality, and was awarded a master's degree in biology from the University of California in 1989.
That's some transcendental meditation type stuff right there, ain't it?
But
that's the guy look like he can just see him levitating off the ground.
But rooted in some science, though.
Yeah,
it's nervous system. That's that's the body. That's physical. It's nothing metaphysical about the nervous system. You know what I mean?
True.
And this idea that he even space and time. I mean, those are measurable scientific kinds of things. And if it sounds like he's on this path to merge the physical, the material with the immaterial, or with that metaphysical. You know what I mean? And and this really for me, no real issue with the metaphysical. I believe the metaphysical exists.
Oh, no doubt.
However, my point of opposition comes when there's this idea that the metaphysical leads.
Yeah.
like, you know, like the metaphysical comes first and then the material follows. I don't subscribe to that. In my view, the material world leads and the metaphysical stuff follows.
I don't know about that.
I know. I know.
Yeah, I don't know about
that's
that.
my problem with most people.
You know,
Right. So can you think a thought without perceiving something first? Can you think of it without perceiving it first?
The thought is the perception.
What can you think of? You can't think of a book without first perceiving a book. You can't think hot.
Well, but you didn't think of but you don't think of a book. You first have to think of a letter. Then you have to think of a word.
But
then
you
you have to think of a
perceive-
string of words to make a book.
Okay, well, come up. Think of a word that you never perceived before.
It just came out.
No,
I don't know how to spell that or what it means.
What that was some sounds you've heard before. You put them together, you know. But it, like Chairman Omali Yeshitela, the chairman of the African People's Socialist Party and the leader of the African Revolution, has this way of framing up this metaphysical idea. You know how they say mind over matter?
Yeah.
All right, so he say, tell you what. So where does the mind rest? The mind rests in matter, because the brain is matter.
Okay.
It's physical. It's material.
Surely.
And so the mind is the immaterial. So it can't be the mind over matter. He says, you know, if you think it's mind over matter, take a gun, blow your brains out, and then tell me how much it matters. Yeah.
Well,
you know, like the whole idea, I think, therefore I am. Mm-hmm. No. You are, therefore you think. Like you can't think if you ain't here, you know. So it's the physical that drives the metaphysical. Is my response to the metaphysical versus physical kind of question. But anyway, back to David Deere. This chapter 3. Live as if your father were dead. A man must love his father and yet be free of his father's expectations and criticisms in order to be a free man. That's enough right there.
Sure is.
Imagine that your father has died, or remember when he did die. Are there any feelings of relief associated with his death? Now that he is dead, is any part of you happy that you need not live up to his expectations or suffer his criticisms? How would you have lived your life differently if you had never tried to please your father? If you never tried to show your father that you were worthy? If you never felt burdened by your father's critical eye? For the next 3 days, do at least one activity a day that you have avoided or suppressed because of the influence of your father. In this way, practice being free of his subtle expectations, which may now reside within your own self-judgment. Practice being free in this way once each day for 3 days, even if you still feel fearful, limited, unworthy, or burdened by your father's expectations. Woo. Yeah, hey, I love my pops, but I can't call him sometimes, and sometimes I can't tell him everything is on my mind when I do call him, because of the fatherly expectation stuff, and the father's critical eye stuff, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I've long ago broken free from that, but I wonder sometimes how much of that childhood experience still has some sore spots that trigger emotions and reactions. Not because of who I am and what I think and how I feel now, but because of that stuff's just still there and unsettled. It's just because never did get a chance to hit him back when he hit me. That kind of stuff. Hey, but my cousin, I got a cousin, 59 years old, I'm 48. My cousin, 59, came down from California, and we talked about. Oh, don't tell me that my daddy calling now. Hey, caller, welcome to the Life Malcolm Show right here on In Touch News Radio. Come in.
Look, this Cabaret Tammy, I am enjoying your reading, but I got an opinion.
Okay.
That I always do. First of all, he almost sounds like a therapist. With his telling you to do this and do that. This is once I told a guy, I read it in a book, and first thing he told me, that's one man's opinion. Okay. So not necessarily true, but one man's opinion.
Right.
He said you're never truly free unless you think you're from God or something to that point. Then you're free because you are all the, I guess, all your impulses, all the things you drive toward is to pleasing your Father. But hey, what better thing to have than a father please? Because if the way the Father loves his Son, even the Holy Father, the way he loves his Son, he wants the best for him. So we are not born to wolves, we are born with guidance. So what a blessing. To me, he was a man who had a problem with his father. Maybe his father, he never felt good enough for his father. Maybe his father was high. But I saw problems with him. In that process, I didn't mean to go there. I'm sorry. But
No, that's good. I definitely appreciate that.
That man got a problem with his dad.
I will say this. Most men do.
You think so?
Most men. Well, let me put it like this right here.
Well, I do see that most daughters have a problem with them trying to please their mothers and mothers' opinions. So maybe so, because that is the, I guess, the epitome of what a woman should be. Is they think is their mother, or the epitome of what a man should be is their father, which is not necessarily the case.
Right. And, and a lot of times because men, like, me, I have 3 daughters right now. And I don't know what to tell them sometimes because, there's certain things they go through I've never experienced in my life. So I got to fall back, right? But my son, when he was here, it was no way. He ain't going through nothing I hadn't been through. So I didn't have to fall back. And so I could set certain kinds of standards and expectations. And, I just really can't. I certainly expect excellence from them, right? But it's certain. Sometimes I think they might need, might be a week or so. They need, some understanding or something. I have to back off, and so just. Yeah, I think, but mothers be like, I did it like this. I did it like this, and you can do it like this too. Mothers, I've heard them do it. So yeah.
But tell those girls to call and ask me.
I can't tell them. I can't tell them don't get their hair did. I can't tell them that without looking like the bad guy. But I never had that problem. So I had to be understanding. That bring tears to their eyes if I say no hair doing this week. Oh, so
no, you can't do them like that. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I got that right. So the father had to fall back on the daughters, but the mothers know all this. You can't pull nothing over on the mama because the mama know. And same thing with the father. You know what I mean? Like the mama, I would think, an intelligent woman would know she is when the boy get a certain age, she got to kind of fall back a little bit. But the man, no, I know exactly what you're doing. Well, I know why you've been in that bathroom so long with no water running. Don't tell me you in there reading. Don't tell me you in there reading the David Deere book either. So yeah, we know those things, and we talk trash. We talk trash different kind of ways. So yeah, I really appreciate you opening up that perspective because it definitely could. Because as I read that piece, I'm thinking to myself, some of us don't even have fathers around. You know what I mean? And to have that kind of reaction and response, So, so I mean, there's definitely a lot of ideas, helpful ideas and opinions that could come out of this book and that piece for sure. So we're gonna take a break, and you can stick around if you want to and talk some more opinion talk after we read about Know Your Real Edge and Don't Fake It. And he's not talking about the lace front wigs, but Know Your Real Edge and Don't Fake It. Chapter 4 coming up right after this on the Life Malcolm Show.
Bird song, and I want to recommend highly that if you're an attorney, that you get a quote for errors and omissions insurance from Sam Cohen at Attorneys First. He's had over 20 years of experience, and he knows how to work with attorneys. Call him at 727-799-4321.
Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen or sundown. 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky, the legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and getting you the best medical treatment and recovery. Now 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ask Ricky.
Yo. All right. Welcome back to the Life Malcolm Show. Right here on In Touch News Radio, where everybody's a star and the biggest star is you. And you can call in too, right here, 813-444-9588. We're reading The Way of the Superior Man by David Deer. This is David Deer. This is chapter 4. Know your real edge and don't fake it. I don't know if y'all heard what I said before the break, but I couldn't help myself. It was funny. Like I said, you're not talking about the lace front. Know your real edge, don't fake it. Anyway, but still, yeah. So it probably is an analogy or a metaphor in this, for this particular idea. It is horrible. No, it's not. It is honorable. There it is. It is honorable for a man to admit his fears, resistance, and edge of practice. It is simply true that each man has his limit, his capacity for growth, and his destiny. But it is dishonorable for him to lie to himself or others about his real place. He shouldn't pretend he is more enlightened than he is, nor should he stop short of his actual edge. The more a man is playing his real edge, the more valuable he is as good company for other men. The more he can be trusted to be authentic and fully present. Where a man's edge is located is less important than whether he is actually living his edge in truth, rather than being lazy or deluded. I like that. Don't fake the funk.
Yeah.
Don't be a lace front. Yeah. Don't fake the funk. Pick an area of your life. Perhaps your intimate relationship, your career, your relationship with your children, or your spiritual practice. For instance, you are currently doing something to earn a living. Where do your fears stop you from making a larger contribution to mankind, from earning a higher income, or from earning money in a more creative and enjoyable way? If you were absolutely fearless, would you be earning a living in exactly the same way as you are now? Your edge is where you stop short or where you compromise your fullest gift and instead cater to your fears. Have you lost touch with the fears that are limiting and shaping your income and style of livelihood? If you have deluded yourself and feel that you are not afraid, then you are lying to yourself. All men are afraid unless they are perfectly free. If you cannot admit this, you are pretending to yourself and to others. Your friends will feel your fear even if you do not. Thus, they will lose trust in you, knowing that you are deluding yourself, lying to yourself, and are therefore likely to lie to them consciously or unconsciously. Or perhaps you are very aware of your fears, your fear to take risks, your fear of failing, or your fear of succeeding. Perhaps you are comfortable with your life, and you fear the lifestyle change that might accompany a change in career, even though the new career will be closer to what you really want to do with your life. Some men fear the feeling of fear and therefore don't even approach their edge. They choose a job they know they can do well and easily and don't even approach the fullest giving of their gift. Their lives are relatively secure and comfortable, but dead. They lack the aliveness, the depth, and the inspirational energy that is the sign of a man living at his edge. If you are this kind of man who is hanging back, working hard perhaps, but not at your real edge, other men will not be able to trust that you can and will help them live at their edge and give their fullest gift. As an experiment, describe your edge with respect to your career out loud to yourself. Say something like, I know I could be earning more money, but I am too lazy to put in the extra hours it would take. I know that I could give more of my true gift, but I'm afraid that I may not succeed, and then I will be a penniless failure. I've spent 15 years developing my career, and I'm afraid to let go of it and start fresh, even though I know that I spend most of my life doing things I have no real interest in doing. I could be making money in more creative ways, but I spend too much time watching TV rather than being creative. Honor your edge. Honor your choices. Be honest with yourself about them. Be honest with your friends about them. A fearful man who knows he is fearful is far more trustable than a fearful man who isn't aware of his fear. And a fearful man who still leans into his fear, living at his edge and putting his gift out from there, is more trustworthy and inspirational than a fearful man who hangs back in the comfort zone, unwilling to even experience his fear on a day-to-day level. A free man is free to acknowledge his fears without hiding them or hiding from them. Live with your lips pressed against your fears, kissing your fears, neither pulling back nor aggressively violating them. Any thoughts on that one?
No, it was on point.
On point, right?
It was on point.
I appreciate that, because every day is fearful. Every day is fearful to me.
But you just have to be honest with it.
Yeah, 100%.
And not be fake. That's really what that was all about.
100%. I remember being a younger man, and I ain't scared of nothing. You know what I mean? I ain't scared of sugar, honey, iced tea. You know, I ain't got no fear and all that. And that's, I mean, maybe. At least at that point in my life, I think it was true. But I didn't have much either, I didn't have much to lose, and now I have a lot to lose, in my mind, too much to walk around fearless, I mean, every time my children go out the door, I'm fearful.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Yeah, these teenagers, man, fearful, and so there's a lot, just one example, but I don't lock them in the house. You have to learn how to live and make adjustments for those fears. In my view, it's the Chairman O'Malley. I listen to him all the time. In case it's not obvious, one of the things that Chairman O'Malley taught us is that a fearless person, a person who doesn't fear anything, who's not scared of anything, is a dangerous, undisciplined kind of person. Mm-hmm. But courageous doesn't mean not fearing anything. Courageous means fearing something, but still doing whatever it is that your fear would otherwise inhibit. But just taking it on. Taking it on. Be scared, but take it on scared. I saw something on the Instagram. He said, if you got to do something, do it. If you're scared, do it scared. Yeah. But you don't have to pretend like you're not scared to get it done. Just do it anyway. Know that you're scared and do it anyway. And this is chapter 5. I told you, real quick, nice, easy, little digestible bites. I wanted to get to chapter 5 though. So I think we can do it. We got a few minutes before we get out of here. Number 5, chapter 5. Always hold to your deepest realization. Eternity must be a man's home, moment by moment. Without it, he is lost, always striving, grasping at puffs of smoke. A man must do anything necessary to glimpse and then stabilize this ever-fresh realization and organize his life around it. Make your life an ongoing process of being who you are at your deepest, most easeful levels of being. Everything other than this process is secondary. Your job, your children, your wife, your money, your artistic creations, your pleasures, they are all superficial and empty if they are not floating in the deep sea of your conscious loving. How many hours a day was your attention focused in the realm of changes on events, people, thoughts, and experiences? And how often was your attention relaxed into its source? Where's your attention right now? Can you feel its source? Even for a moment, can you feel that which makes attention conscious and aware? Can you feel the deepest nature of attention? What happens when you simply, effortlessly allow attention to subside into its source? This source is never changing and always present. It is the constant silent tone behind and pervading the music of life. Feel into this source as deeply as possible and then reapproach your work, intimacy, family, and creative efforts. When you make money from this source. Find out what happens to the details of your life when you live more consistently from this source. Use aids to support your relaxation into and creation from this source. Read books that remind you of who you are in truth. Spend time with people who inspire and reflect the source to you. Meditate, contemplate, or pray daily so that you steep yourself in the source. If you are like most men, you have strong habits that rivet your attention to the events and tasks of the day. Days and nights fly by for years and life slips through your fingers, your attention absorbed in the seeming world of necessary responsibilities. But all of it is empty if we do not live our responsibilities as expressions of our depth of being and heart truth. Know eternity. Do whatever it takes. And from this depth of being, live the details of your life. But if you postpone the process of submerging yourself in the source for the sake of taking care of business first, your life will be spent in hours and days of business, and then it will be gone. Only if you are well grounded in that which is larger than life will you be able to play life with humor, knowing that each task is a mirage of necessity. Even if you find yourself in some trivial moment watching TV or cleaning up a mess in the kitchen, feel the truth of who you are. Feel the boundless cognizance in which each instant sings and vanishes. All moments are the same intensity of clarity, completeness, and humor when you meet each moment with your deepest realization. Nothing that has ever happened has made any difference to the one who you are. What's that? Oh, yeah. And that is 1 through 5, The Way of the Superior Man by David Dieter. Pick it up, man. It's good. It's good stuff in here, you know, like I said, for the mind, the body, the spirit, and yeah. We're going to do some more reading. Don't know what the text is going to be next week, but I promise you it's going to be interesting, educational, and invigorating. So stay tuned right here on the Rereading Life Malcolm Show on In Touch News Radio.